I did not think it'd be so demoralizing.
Oh,
Being in your 20s?
Yes.
It was so demoralizing.
Because, you guys are like, oh, it's so fun.
Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina. I'm Catherine.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli. Welcome back to
the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey guys. So today we are going to be talking about things that we got wrong about our 20s. We had differences of opinions on when we were writing this. Like, we took the point in separate ways where they thought more like Ragrats and we were like, what was different than what we thought it was going to be?
Yeah, but I think we're going to do like a hybrid.
Yeah, we're going to do like a hybrid.
Which I think they both apply. It's like, I got this wrong about my 20s. Like, I had this expectation, but it was so different than what I thought. Mm-hmm. And things I got wrong, like things I really didn't do well that I kind of wish I did differently or better.
Much like our
They're
good
kind of in the
friend,
same umbrella.
the Prius. We're going to do a hybrid.
Which I think that'll be good to do. Like, it is really helpful to be like, I wish I had done this or could go back and change this thing or whatever. Because according to my Instagram poll I took, the majority, it was like over 60% of the people on the poll were in their 20s.
Oh, slay.
Yeah. What was the poll?
It was like, are you in teens, 20s, 30s, or 40 plus? I think it was like 30% 30s and like 60-something percent 20s. Yeah. So most of these people are in their 20s. Hey, 20-somethings.
What episode number is this? 260. This is episode 260, guys.
Wow, look at us.
So, shall we get into our highs and lows of the week?
Yes.
We shall.
Okay, I feel like I can start. Let's see. My high is that I think my insomnia is going down, I think.
Ooh,
I'm pretty sure. I've had insomnia like off and on since pregnancy, so 2019.
Oh gosh.
So I've like go through phases where I can't really control it with like hormonal things or like kids waking me up and then I get really stressed about it, whatever. And then times where I'm like, all right, the ball is in my court. I can figure this out. Like, I can actually do stuff and it's not completely out of my hands, right? Mm-hmm. Right now it's pretty much in my hands. So I'm like, I'm going to do everything because I will not live with insomnia. It completely ruins my life. So anyway, so I've been working on a bunch of stuff with it and especially journaling every night with my journaling prompt. It's a very specific prompt that has like 9 questions that I made. And I've been doing that every night. And then I've been doing a certain technique in my bed. I'll just tell you what I do. So every thought that pops in my head, I mentally write it on a Post-it note and then I stick it off to the side in my brain. So I visualize myself writing it. So I'm like, oh, I'm worried about this. I write that down. I go, okay. And this is like things to think about later. So I'm like, okay, I'll think about that one later. Boom. Then I go, and then the random next thing. And I'm like, okay, what is next? And I write it down. I think about it later. And the next one, write it down. So I do that. And then the second thing I do is I picture each body part, basically like arms, legs, hands, feet, that's pretty much mostly it, but I'll be like torso, kind of like that, not really head. And I picture I use a weighted blanket, but I picture like a sand, kind of like a weighted blanket, depending on what I'm feeling in the moment, like piling on top each part. Oh. So I'm like, my left arm is heavy. And then I picture it and I do it again. My left arm is heavy. And then I go, my left hand is heavy. And I do all that. So it's a combination of daytime stuff and nighttime stuff, basically. That like in the moment stuff and then daytime stuff. Because I was really trying to cut the anxiety I was having at night. In the middle of the night, I was waking up having like really high anxiety. And that's just going to really ruin like the quality of your rest. So I haven't slept like full night as like quite, but I've cut the high anxiety completely. That's good. Cut. And I was experiencing it like every single night. Gone.
Love it.
I was watching like videos on insomnia, all this stuff. And a lot of them were saying, I need to learn more about it. But they were saying like a lot of it is a result of not processing things during the day. So your brain's like, time to process it now. No. Not on my watch. So I was really trying to process things and go through my journaling thing, which is good because it starts with what went right today.
Oh.
So I have to think of all these things that went right, and it's a great exercise. It has me automatically looking for things that went right. So, sorry, I just choked in my own throat. It's great exercise. So anyway, that's the high because it is such a powerless feeling, and I will not be held hostage. So I've been working on that. I will continue working. I even changed my phone so that when I press it 3 times, it does a red filter. So I already have the nighttime filter. I added a red filter. So at night, I am like double protecting myself from blue light. And then
black and white.
I pull my blue. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Pull my blue light glasses out again. Because apparently that, like, I don't know why I wasn't really believing that. Apparently that makes a really big difference.
I can see it.
I mean, obvious, but like I'm trying harder now. Okay. So that's my high. What's my low? Is can't really think of that good of a low. I would just say just having like a low kind of mood where I just like and just coming from my own thoughts, focusing on things that were not making me very joyful. So I was working on that.
I feel you.
I was working on that, and then I was writing a list of like the values that I'm acting from to make myself feel better. I'm like, I'm acting from a place of courage. I'm acting from a place of this. And then it was like empowering me.
I love
making me feel better.
I love it.
So that's my highs and lows of the week. Next.
Well, okay. I have one giant, massive low, and I can't really think of a high. Well, no, okay. My giant, massive low is that everyone I met in my life, which is such an exaggeration, me saying that, is moving away right now. Genuinely, I can think of like, I think I'm up to like 13 people that I know from around. Like,
okay, but you know a bunch of random people
Yes.
around. Oh no, Jimmy down the street who I never speak
yes,
to is moving.
no,
Okay.
no, it is.
Yeah,
weird.
what?
No, because it makes everything is going to look a lot different that I go to because it's not going to be the same people, which is good and bad at the same time. And like, I don't know. It's like freaking me out so deeply and so existentially. It's like sending me into a bad place mentally. And like, because I keep having to like, you know, I keep getting invites to going away parties.
You're like, not another one.
No, I got like 6 invites in like a week. And that's a lot. That's a lot of people going
There's
away.
a lot of going away parties.
And it's like the things that I do, the places I go, and I don't know if this is just like a consequence of being older. They just change, and I think that's just like time passing too. And things have been the same for a long time, so I think it's due for like a shift. So that is just a massive low that's like freaking me out. And I don't know. I've had some good times in the lows though. I feel like I did something fun. Oh, I went dancing this week and it was really fun. That was a high.
Love dancing for you.
It was so fun.
So fun.
It was good.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of the real high. That Barrett learned how to ride a bike.
Oh, I was there.
That was obviously the high of the week. That, guys, you don't even realize what a rush it is when your child, what is the word I'm looking for? Guys, it's like
Learns a new skill.
my last brain cells like hits a milestone, achieves a milestone. What's the
a
word?
milestone.
That's one of those. There's not that many milestones really, and riding your bike and learning to swim, learning to walk, I think learning to drive. Those are like some of the biggest milestones in your child's life. Guys, it is the most incredible thing. And he learned it.
Thrill.
He learned it so freaking fast. Amy was there babysitting at the time, and he literally, that was like his second time ever trying to ride a bike, and then he was done learning.
No, literally, I was like holding on to the handlebars and him, and I was like, push down on these foot, like your foot, and
Were you
go
just
back
holding it
and
while he was
forth.
trying? Like, how'd you keep
Yeah.
him up?
I just held the handlebar and like was behind him.
Did you ever just let go? Or
No.
Then how did he do
picked
it by
up
himself?
and decided to figure it out himself. I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking. He was in your kitchen, and he just decided to start trying on his own.
Okay.
And then Betsy and I were like, "What the We were so excited.
I mean, that same thing happened with me. My dad kept trying to teach me, and then I was so stressed out. And then one day I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm doing it myself. Then I just figured it out myself. But that's really amazing.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm gonna like want to try to learn how to use the pedals. I don't even know. He just was like trying to do it, and maybe he was annoyed because I was like, okay, I'm kind of done pushing right now.
Well, boom, there you have it. That was absolutely the high of my week.
It was
Maybe
great.
my quarter of the year, maybe my year. I don't know. That was
It
a
was so
high,
exciting.
guys. Such a high. I can't even tell you until you
Yeah.
experience. One of those great things in parenthood where you just don't realize how amazing it's going to be, and then it happens, and you're like,
Yeah.
I had no idea this was going to be so amazing. So,
Yeah.
anyway, moving along to Caths. Sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off.
I think my high and my low have both been bike related, which I'll get into the bike, the story of the bike later. But I will say my high, which was also my low, was I did the entire 20K bike on Sunday.
Yes, girl.
And it was such a saga. This is
How
unrelated.
did it like? Okay, strength wise, how did it go?
What do you mean
is
strength?
that?
Like strenuousness. Like, do you feel like?
Okay.
Because I know other factors.
How
affected
challenging
it.
was
Yeah.
Let me explain the process of it, because this has nothing to do with the bike story I'm telling later. That's about the repairs of my bike. So okay, but the first part does. For the first mile, I was testing out my bike, and it ended up breaking down again.
Oh my gosh.
So then I only made it a mile, and then I went home and I had to walk the bike back. So that was the first mile, and then I went home, and then I got my dad's bike that I was borrowing. That is,
you walked an extra mile.
well,
You walked
I
it
made
back.
it like half a mile, and then I walked half a mile
Okay.
back. And then I went home and got my dad's bike, and then I did 6.7 miles, close to. So then I had almost 8 at that point, and then I came home, and then I cried to Max, and I was like, I hate this stupid bike. It hurts. My low back is screaming. My saddle is so painful. Like, I was even wearing the padded bike shorts, and everything just hurt, which it never hurts on my bike. Just the way his bike is shaped is just not good for my body.
No.
Yeah.
And I hated it. And I was like, I hate this. I'm suffering. I don't want to do this anymore. And I have the triathlon so soon, and I'm not going to have made it the whole distance for the bike, and I'm going to be so nervous. I just wanted to do it one time to have peace of mind that I can do it. And I just kind of complained for a few minutes, drank some water, drank some body armor, ate a banana, and then I was like, I'm going to go back out there. I got to finish. I got to finish that. I was like, I only have 4 miles left. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I got back on the saddle, literally, and I went and did the last 4 miles, and I came home and I was like, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm so happy. Something I've learned about from listening to like a lot of podcasts from like ultra runners and like these like Ironman athletes is they call it type 1 and type 2 fun. And apparently type 2 fun, I don't know if I'm misquoting this, but this is what I think it is when you suffer during something, but you're happy that you did it afterwards.
Yay.
So
Yeah.
it's type 2 fun.
It's
So
like
I
running.
feel like that was my high. I was
Wait,
like,
what's type 1?
type 1 is like, I don't think you suffer during it. It's
Like
just
the
you're having
process
fun.
is enjoyable.
Oh, type 2 fun.
But type 2 fun is like
Just
you
a rebrand
suffer,
of
you suffer during it, but then you're happy that you did it afterwards. Maybe like an unmedicated birth. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I
So
felt.
I feel like I had type 2 fun. So it was like
Good.
it was low in the moment. It took me like 2 hours because I had to like come home and with my broken bike and then get a new one and then take a water break. Like it was a long haul, but I was so proud of myself that I persevered and just finished it
Good for you.
and didn't give up when it got hard.
You know
So-
what?
yeah,
a lot of songwriting is type 1 or type 2 fun. There's a lot of them where I'm like, this is just really fun. And then a lot of them where I'm like, this is pure torture. And I'm glad I'm like recording it. I'm like suffering through recording 10 million things and like, this is not working, whatever. Like, how do I fix this? But then I'm so happy I did it after.
I love that.
So interesting.
Too real.
There's
Too
something
real.
about type 2 fun that's like, wow, I did it. You're like,
Type
I don't
2
know.
fun. I cannot get over
Yeah,
that.
I don't know that I would call it fun. I think it's
I
a
like the
different thing.
rebrand. It might help me somehow.
I do love a rebrand.
I'm like, I'm having type 2 fun right now. That might help me. I'll try that out. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think like most of the things in life that are important are good. There's going to be some like
Are type
suffering
2.
or like hardship, like
Yeah.
becoming
So
a
true.
parent or like, I don't know, doing something that you haven't done before that's pushing you outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's just
Creating.
like gonna hurt for a bit.
Too
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, me. My high was I went on a trip this weekend.
Oh.
I went to a wedding with my BF for one of his
Oh
friends.
my gosh.
Love
It was
it.
really fun. Great trip, great times.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was good.
You already knew that.
I know.
You're acting like you
We
didn't.
barely debriefed it though.
That's true. Yeah.
I feel
didn't
like there
really-
wasn't a ton to debrief about.
Yeah,
though, 'cause it was quick.
Yeah. My low. It's just like really long, busy week.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it never ends. But I will say, I'm really not that like debilitated. So I'm just saying.
I will also add, I was talking about how everyone I knew have ever met is moving, and he said, you should try a Minecraft server
Wait,
to make new friends. That's a joke.
wait, what does that mean?
To make new friends.
So she can make new friends on a Minecraft
What's
server.
a Minecraft server? Is that like where a
Yes.
group of people
Where they won't
play
be moving
Minecraft?
away.
Yes.
So you're saying you should make friends that live far away,
Yeah.
and they
On
only
Minecraft.
communicate on
Make
Minecraft.
friends.
Yes.
It's like Amy's
That's
literal
unique.
nightmare.
It was so good though. I cracked up.
You should try that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll
you,
get on the
you would love
Minecraft
Minecraft.
Sounds great for you. Amy's a real video game gal.
Oh, it was so good though. I laughed so hard actually in traffic.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you have it.
Okay, well, we're going to get into the things. I was going to say the 20 things. That's not it. The things we got wrong about our 20s. But first, I need to tell you, Lisa's not here today because she's supporting her husband through his cancer treatment. So please keep their family in your prayers. They appreciate it so much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. She comes in a couple times a month and does shoots with us and recording and all that. So we've been focusing on original music with her because that's our number one priority. So if you want to see Lisa, check out TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, streaming, all that. And then I need to tell you, if you want every full episode, you got to join our Patreon, patreon.com/Cimorelli. It's $5 a month. You get every full episode instead of every other like we do on YouTube. And you get our every Monday we post a video. Just saying. And then you get all the past stuff we've done, which is a lot, and the past series we've done, which is a lot. And it's a really great way to support us. If you're like, I really want to support those gals, that is how. That's how you do it. We love our patrons so much. And then that's all I gotta say. So let's get into the things
We got wrong.
about
Our
20s.
20s.
I thought we were just going
Ding
back
ding
and
ding
forth.
ding ding.
I was like, everyone
Now,
jumping in the audience,
everyone,
but
give
no.
your credentials. How old are you?
my credential. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah, everyone should say hello
I
there.
forgot you're in your 20s.
Yeah, Lauren's still in her
Well,
20s.
I'm 26. I still have 6 years
So
of the
you're
20s.
like the
to
things
talk
I got
about.
wrong about the first 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be 27 soon.
She's
so
entering her late
Yeah.
20s.
She's in the twilight of her 20s.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's not in the dawn.
Lauren's is what is that thing where you parentheses so far. That's hers.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Emotional. She
Yeah.
cried.
Okay, my credentials. I've been through all 10 years of the 20s.
Same.
She's
my
34.
You're 34? I thought you
Every
were
time
30.
I say this, you say that every
Why do
time.
I keep thinking you're 35?
I mean, I will be saying.
I am
that far.
33, but I keep thinking I'm 32. I just said the other day, I'm
So
32.
you think that we're 3 years apart? Interesting.
I guess. I think you're a year later and I'm a year earlier
Interesting.
than we actually are.
I am 29, almost 30.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
That's so weird.
Hey, the 30s
okay.
are better. I'll say it's the day I die. The 30s are better than the 20s.
That's
I
what
think the 40s
everyone
are going to
says.
be better than the 30s.
I believe it.
Let's go.
I think my 20s was really fun and like kind of magical. It was like a really magical time of our career, and it was really fun and magical. However, me as a person in my 30s, it's just better for your brain. You're just like, I wish, it's like you wish you could take your brain of the 30s and then go be in your 20s.
What did they say? That is the most true thing
not gonna
ever.
happen.
Youth is wasted on the young. It's
No.
true.
I remember learning that when I was a child or a teenager, hearing that, and I was like, that sucks.
It's real though.
It's not wasted.
It's not
on the
wasted,
young.
but it's like,
It's
But it's
what
too
youth
real.
is.
I know, and it sucks.
yeah, a big part
That's
of
a
youth
brilliant
is
quote.
being a novice at everything.
So I don't agree that it's
and it
wasted on the young. It wouldn't be the same thing if you were
No.
old being young.
I guess, you know,
Same
maybe
thing. You don't have the magical youth thing because you're like jaded and you already know everything.
maybe the parentheses is the energy of youth is wasted
Yeah.
on the young.
I feel
But
like the energy of my 20s, I would never want to go
chaotic.
I know the energy.
It was
No,
so-
I'm talking about your energy levels as like you can just like go for so much
Now
longer.
that's
That's what I mean. Your
was
physical
amazing.
energy level.
I feel like I was so uncomfortable in my own body. Like
That's
literally
what I'm
about
saying.
to jump out of my skin the whole time.
That's one of the biggest differences is like you
Oh,
just it's
man.
like kind of weird and like magical. You just suddenly are like, oh, I don't give a rip about this anymore. Oh, I don't give a rip about this anymore. And you suddenly like stop caring about things and becoming confident in like all these different
Yes.
categories. So I'm saying it'd be
Yeah.
nice in your 20s if you could have that, but
I feel like if my 20s was a hotel, it sounds really bad. Sorry, guys, if you're in your 20s, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, my 20s, if it was a hotel, the bed was made out of iron.
Oh.
And
Bed
it just
of
kept
nails?
zapping you all day. Like that's how like debilitatingly anxious I was.
Yeah.
And then the 30s is like a nice cozy Airbnb, have a
Yeah.
nice soft bed. you
Perhaps
can
on a lake.
chill, Like oh yeah, there's a nice lake. Like it just feels better.
yeah, because the 20s is a time where you're like, what am I gonna? You're like, what am I gonna be as an adult? And you're like, how is my career gonna go?
Oh my
And you're
gosh.
like, relationship, career, personality, blah blah. You're basically like, okay, I'm an adult now. I need to get all these things together, but then like everything is not coming together because it just doesn't come together in your early 20s especially, but you think it's supposed to come together. So then every day you have like this measuring stick that you're smacking
gosh.
yourself with every single day,
Yes.
and you're like, why am I not measuring up in all these categories?
You know what's weird
You
is
just can't.
I think society's made a wild switch where it's like, okay, in the olden times, it used to be like you weren't at like the prime of your career until you were like 40, 50, and then you like retire after that. Now everyone's trying to be at the prime of their career when they're in their 20s, which doesn't make sense.
That's so weird.
And also in the olden days, like, no offense, you used to get married more in your 20s. And now
No
everyone's getting
offense.
married more in their 30s too, which is weird, comforting to me personally because I will be getting married in my 30s, God willing. Unless I pull a Kourtney Kardashian and get married at 44. But
You never know.
it's weird it like switched. Like the marrying age got older and the career age got way younger. And all those things like
Yeah, it feels like the life milestones just shifted later. It's like people are moving out of their parents' home later. People are like getting married later. Like a lot of things are just happening later. That I feel like the 20s that we had, Christina, as like early 90s babies
Wasn't that
are
much
very
later.
different than like the 20s that people are going to be having in the next like 10 or 20 years.
yeah.
It just seems like things are even though a lot of people our age still got married later or lived with their
But
parents
we
or
just
whatever,
didn't
but
know about it at the time because it wasn't later yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was fed this propaganda that like everything has to be figured out by the age of 30.
25? Oh.
No, it's like every year that you turn 20, you just feel so old. And then I feel like when you turn 30, you're like, oh, I'm not that old. Oh, wow, I got here and I'm not like, the world didn't end. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you grow young again when you turn 30 because
I
you're
can't
like,
wait to
I'm
feel
not
young
even
again.
old. What the heck? Why did I think that for all those years? Like, oh my gosh, I'm 28. I'm gonna die. It's like, and then you don't die and you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah,
What a life.
propaganda.
Yeah, because then 30s originally like the old age where you're like, I'm old when I'm 30. Then I turned 30 and I was like, I don't look how I thought I would look
You're
when
like,
I was 30.
I don't feel old.
Thought I was going to look like 60. Okay, so let's get into our lists.
Let's get in. Well, yeah, you
want me to
start us
start?
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first wrong is
My first wrong.
My first wrong.
everything I got wrong in my 20s. Okay, so this reminds me of our relationship one where you're like, well, you couldn't help that anyway, but it's like I couldn't help these things, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. So then I'm like, did I get it wrong?
Okay.
Okay.
Just
give
say
me
it.
the
Okay. It's like if you could go back
just say
and change it, you would. That's what it is,
or like
right?
do it in a different
Okay,
Yeah.
so mental health stuff. I thought I was focused on mental health, which I was, but I was just really not focused on the right things at all. And I wish, oh my gosh, that would have saved me so much misery in my 30s of mental health related stuff, especially in motherhood. Oh my gosh. If I had worked on different mental health healing type of things in my 20s, that would have really helped me. Particularly, I want to say,
The OCD god.
So
If I had-
healing.
if I had worked on OCD, yeah, if I had learned, oh, I'll say it for a different one. If I had worked in OCD and actually found an OCD therapist then, and then number 2, if I had worked on what's it called? Oh my gosh, sorry guys. My last 2 brain cells are trying so hard today. Distress tolerance.
Yes.
If I had built my window of tolerance for distress in my 20s, oh my gosh, I would be so happy with my 20-whatever-year-old self for doing that. Because when you become a parent, and just life in general will give you a lot of distress to tolerate. When you become a parent, you have a lot of distress to tolerate. And if you already are pretty good with that, boom, that's great. If you're not, which I was absolutely not, every time I was distressed, I thought like something is wrong. I have to fix this. I got it wrong. That whole thing that's happening in the mental health space right now, where they say like, it's actually not about getting rid of every negative feeling and finally getting to a place where you're happy all the time. And that means you're healed. It's not that. It's actually learning how to sit. And people say this before. I'm like, what? To sit in discomfort.
Ugh,
and then not think that you need to change it, which makes it way more comfortable.
Yeah, not needing to immediately cope with it.
It's like if you you know how it sucks when your socks get wet?
Yes.
So if you step in like a puddle with your sock and you're like, and you start freaking out, you're like, I need to change my sock. This is so wrong. And you keep thinking and talking about how you need to change your sock and you just keep screaming and freaking out. Versus if you're like stepped in the puddle and you're like, I can change my sock in 30 minutes. So until then, I'm just accepting that I have a wet sock. That is what I already forgot it again.
Distress tolerance.
Distress tolerance, like building your distress tolerance. That's what it is. As simple as that.
I love it.
So I really wish I was doing my best. Oh my gosh, and my repression of my feelings.
Oof.
I wish I could have.
That'll do it.
Met your feelings.
Worked on that,
earlier.
but I don't know. I was deep in the repression, so that would have been tough.
Yeah.
All right, what's your first?
Well, okay. The first thing
Thing you
that
got
first
wrong?
came to mind is this is not a regret. This is a thing that I got wrong about my 20s looking back because they're done. Is okay, everyone. Well, this is not everyone. I obviously am not married. And that was the first thing I thought. Because, like, you think when you're, like, thinking about your 20s, you're like, oh, it's the time I get married. Mm-hmm. And I got wrong / not even fully regret, but just, like, no. Okay, well, we'll talk about that one later. I was nowhere near in any universe ready in any way to sustain a healthy, committed relationship. So it is so actually good that I didn't get married in my 20s, knowing who I was in my 20s. I was not capable of it at all whatsoever. So it's just something I really got wrong because I don't know, growing up religious and also at like the time, like growing up born in the 90s, it still was like, oh, you get married in your early 20s and like into the early 2000s and you're thinking of your future, you're still like, oh, like I'll get married at this point and my life will look like this. And I didn't realize there's going to be a whole like long period of time that I would have on my own, like being single, not like thinking about other people in that way, and like really having so much time to myself. I didn't know I would have so much time to myself in my 20s, which is kind of slay, but also just a lot of time to have alone. So it's a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. The first one that what am I supposed to say?
It's giving Catherine in the middle of the night in her top bunk when I would wake her up crying, being like, I can't sleep. And her going, just pray about it. Just pray. Just pray.
Half asleep?
That was what that was.
Okay. Sorry. I was just
No,
didn't.
you're fine. You're fine. That's just the vibe that you were saying.
I'm trying to not just like always give advice or always be like, let me just tell
Maybe
you.
if you add a nod and you go,
There's no advice that needs to be given. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't need to respond.
too
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, you don't have to respond. We're back to you, Kat.
So I'm like, I don't know why
Too
it's
real.
bad.
No,
sorry.
it was just
think
funny.
it was funny.
It was the
Okay,
awkward
I got
pause of no one talking.
Or we could do, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you
Now
for
mine.
sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
See, there's a good transition.
I was also just thinking, how do I transition to mine? Because it's such a different topic. It's like,
You just say mine.
what?
Mine.
Let's say my wrong.
Mine.
All right. All right. My wrong.
My wrong.
My wrong is, my wrong is, I wish that I would have been more responsible with my money.
Oh, who doesn't wish that?
Oh, I'm the opposite now.
Particularly,
I was so responsible then. Now I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were saying you wish you were.
No. I would not buy one freaking thing. Like when I was like, I need to save my money. I did not eat out once. Did not eat out. I would hang out with my friends. I would go on a walk. We were not eating out. I would hardly drive anywhere. I would not buy anything extra. I'd only buy clothes from the thrift store. I wouldn't even buy clothes that often. I wasn't buying new shoes. I wasn't buying anything. I was buying nothing. I was just buying food from the grocery store.
Good for you.
And our rent.
Yeah.
And makeup.
What a
And
life.
then clothes. I did not buy one thing. Now I could really use that.
Yeah. On the one hand,
do
it's
that
like
now.
I feel like I spent a lot of my money on like traveling, seeing friends, going to like literally anyone's wedding who asked me. Yes,
Oh yeah, if
I'll
I
be
had travel
there.
to see Nick, I forgot about that.
Like I feel like I lived it up, and
No,
I
and
don't.
that's good.
I don't
This
regret.
is me now.
Yeah, I don't regret it because I'm like I feel like I made great memories. I'm glad that I went out and did things.
Living it up.
But I do feel like there is a way to live it up and also budget. I feel like
Too real.
I just wish I would have, like, that's something that I don't know if anyone really, like, our parents would always say, like, oh, save your money. Like, my dad would always say, it's easier to make money than it is to save money. And, like, I heard different, like, bits of wisdom from them, but I never had anyone just say, like, here's how you make a budget. Like, here's how you literally just write out, like, this is how much money I made. This is how much money, these are my expenses. This is what I want to buy. Here's how you make a sinking fund. Like, all these different things.
What?
Yeah,
What
hashtag
is
Dave
sinking
Ramsey.
fund?
A sinking fund is like if you have a goal that you want to, like, say you want to buy a car and you want to buy it in a year. And you're like, I'm going to put, like, a certain amount of money towards this goal every month.
It's called
But
sinking.
I will say, I know not, like, some people love Dave Ramsey, some people don't. Well, but, like, I took Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University course in 2022. So I was like, definitely not in my 20s anymore. But I did actually start budgeting literally just in a notebook when I was like 23 or 4.
I remember that. I fully remember that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was very helpful, but I just was like a little too late. I feel like I already had done a lot of damage in my early 20s of just like, oh, I have money. This is fun. Let me do something. La-di-da. Just like not being that intentional about
I
it.
get it.
I'm just not naturally a saver. I'm not naturally a Scrooge. I just
I
like
get
to
it.
have fun. So anyway, yeah, I just wish I would have made budgets earlier and also realized that like making a budget for your money doesn't mean that you're like ruining your fun or that you're not going to have any fun. It allows
I had
you
a lot of
to
fun, I feel like.
it allows you to have fun while also having peace of mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good thing. So
Yeah, I feel like that was like one of the most fun times of my life, being in my 20s, and most of the fun was free.
yeah,
I
I
will
love
say.
that.
I feel that.
I love it.
It was free. I don't know what you have to pay.
There
Well,
are
some
so
things,
many
but-
fun things you can do for free. So many fun things.
So many.
And also too in your
So
20s,
many.
like that's one thing I feel like if you can get in the habit of like having fun for free with your friends and realizing like just going on a walk or going to each other's houses or like going to a free concert or something in the community, like getting into those habits, I feel like, and realizing that you don't need to spend a bunch of money to like have a good time is a really good life skill that you can carry on for ever.
You know
Love
what?
it.
Now I'm spending a lot of money on like healing kind of stuff, basically. And if I had worked on some of the stuff in my 20s, I wouldn't be spending that money.
So you saved it for yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, my wrong. It's more like, what I thought. I did not think it'd be so demoralizing.
Oh.
Being in your 20s?
Yes.
It was so demoralizing.
Because, like, you guys are like, oh, it's so fun, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
I'm looking back at the good times
but,
when I
like,
think
it's truly demoralizing, actually.
No, that's
like,
100%.
when you have to, like, depend on yourself and you have
Soul
to, like,
crushing.
figure out all these things and you just, like,
Soul crushing.
at least for me, maybe not everyone, but, like, you have the, like, invincibility of, like, being, like, a teen and even, like, 20, 21, whatever. But then it's, like, you realize that's just not it. You don't have the invincibility of youth anymore.
No.
And it's, like, there's, like, a maturing in that and, like, being realistic, I guess, with that. But, like, I don't know. I just thought, like, I gotta get out of this house so I can have avocado toast and no one eats all the avocados and, like,
Too real.
I just want to, like, have a white kitchen and
Oh, no, I know.
drink my coffee on the balcony or something. And I was
You
like,
got all those things.
I did. I was like, oh, it'll be so free and it'll be so fun and blah, blah. And it is free, but it's
not free.
It is not free at all. And the weight, I think really the weight of being responsible for yourself and like the rest of your life like that was very demoralizing to me.
Yes.
Emotionally and
You,
debilitating.
by choice, stepped out into that really young.
At 19.
Me too.
More.
We both did at 19.
I didn't do that until I was, what for you right now, think of you a year or 2 years ago. That's when I did it.
I did it at 19
By
as well.
and not by choice. I was kicked out of the house.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the independence, but it's just
Me
like
too.
it comes with the cost of the weight of like adult responsibility.
Yeah.
And I did not expect it to be so
Heavy.
Yes.
100.
I had that same moment when I moved out, which I moved out at 23 and I wanted to move out earlier than that. I was like daydreaming about moving out since I was like 20.
Yeah.
I just felt like I need to get out of this house. But I had that same moment where we moved into our apartment together and it was the first time and I was so excited. Like I found the apartment, like got everything set up, was so excited. And then like about 2 months in, I remember this one time where I got some bill in the mail or something. And I just remember I cried for like 2 or 3 hours, like a long time. It was like this, it was like the weight of like, I am the breadwinner.
Yes.
There's no safety net.
It's so scary.
Which I'm like, it's interesting how we always think like, I'm going to be on the streets. And it's like, you could go live with your parents if you were in a dire situation.
Never.
But you're like, I could never go live.
No, yeah, it's weird because like we both moved out when we were still teenagers.
Yeah.
Guys,
were
out of everyone in the world who'd be on the streets, when you have 10
Yeah, we're not
siblings
gonna be on the
and
street.
parents in full health and everything, we are the last people to be on the streets. So we always think like, oh no. We all think we're going to like lose our home, lose everything if something isn't going well. I don't know. We all have that fear and it makes no sense.
But there also is such a like, it is like the both and it's like there's such a sweetness to that first summer when we lived out of our parents' house.
Yeah.
I remember we went to Goodwill and we bought like, I bought like these mismatched pillowcases that were so cute. They were like these floral print mismatched pillowcases.
I cried every bill.
We had like all this,
What were you
mismatched,
I
silverware.
set up most of our bills, most of our utilities. And
Then what were
everything.
you they were set up, you cried setting them up?
Yes. Every time we get a bill, I just cried.
Just every time
'Cause
she
I had
saw
to pay
the
a
bill.
But we were all paying it.
It
It
doesn't,
doesn't
matter.
matter.
And they were so cheap. Our rent, not to out us, was like $400 at
Well,
first.
that's because we had 4 people
in
living
a 3-bedroom
in
apartment.
a 3-bedroom. So 2 people, Christina,
In
Lisa
20
and Amy
And
were-
that felt so expensive.
it was. Well, especially because
Well, 'cause
Nashville's
we weren't making very much money.
crazy
Yeah.
expensive now.
But like, wow, what a time.
Yeah.
What a life.
But anyway, yeah, there's still like a beauty to that time.
There is.
I remember like wearing my lanyard for like the rec center where I would go on like swims and like going on walks, and it was just like
I remember, which is what I do now. I wrote, but now I have so many more things. I just wrote down, I had just a simple note of like, I remember this, pulling on my phone, my notes, and being like, okay, our rent is this much, or this is this much, or this is this much, or this is this much. Okay, so if I spend $0 except for groceries, I gave myself a tiny budget, then I can save this much every month.
Wow.
If I spend nothing. So then I was like, okay, that was my inspo, knowing
love
that
it.
it would fit in there if I could do that.
What a life.
Back when I had like 5 expenses. Now it's like
Good time.
What a time.
so many random things to
What a
buy,
time.
to pay for, so many, oh my gosh.
What a time.
So many hospital bills.
Oh, no.
So many
always
things
the medical bills that'll
from
get
all
you.
my children. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Next wrong.
Next
Anyway,
one.
next
Yeah, what's your
wrong.
next wrong?
We're all reminiscing.
The next
Yeah.
Okay, next wrong. Oh, okay. This was a little confusing, so I don't exactly know where I'm going with this, but I was going to say not focusing. Oh, okay, yeah. Not focusing on my physical health. I thought there was no reason to focus on it.
No, I agree with this one.
I was like, there's no reason to focus on it. And in this, I will say what would have helped me the most is if I learned nervous system regulation. I didn't know at the time, you know, that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She doesn't know it yet, but
Yeah.
she doesn't know it yet, me in my 20s. But her chronically dysregulated nervous system is about to wreck her in 5, 10, whatever age I was, short years, is about to take her down. The fact that I was living so dysregulated all the time in my 20s And I had no idea.
Don't I know it?
That I was like wrecking myself temporarily, but wrecking myself. I wish I could have learned the nervous system regulation stuff I'm learning right now that's changing my life. I wish I'd learned that. And then I didn't know really anything about health, I will say. I don't know how much you could have learned at the time from the internet, because there's so much great information now, but really even like 10 years ago, it was very different information. So I don't even know what I could have learned, but truly, I did not know anything. All I knew was like the classic people like fruits and vegetables are good. Like that's literally all I knew. Like,
And they so are.
like drink water, eat fruits and vegetables. Like
true.
I don't
it's
really.
very real.
I was just like, I don't really like fruits and vegetables that much. And so then what am I supposed to do? Like that's all I knew. So I wish I could have. Oh, and like strength training. I didn't know like how. I knew because I read all mom's magazines, but I didn't really know how important
Our
how
mom's
important that was.
magazines.
Because you know, once you hit 35, which is me this year, you start losing like a certain amount of crap. I don't want to get this wrong. Whatever. Once you hit 35, if you are not strength training, you have
over for
It's
a
bad
rude.
for your
You have
bones.
a rude awakening in the
It's-
future.
Is it because your estrogen starts going down?
I don't know.
It's bad for your bones. I know that.
I just know I'm gonna be 35.
Strength training is really good for the bones, which you wouldn't expect.
So I wish I had known a lot of stuff that and the chronic stress, like really it screwed up in a lot of
It
ways.
eats
Also,
away.
it like ruined my stomach acids like really low from chronic stress, as my dietitian says. So it just the chronic stress like really screwed me over in a lot of ways. I didn't really know what to do, and like regulating my blood sugar with how I was eating. I wish I had known that instead of living in fear all the time. Every time I went anywhere to pack like 10 million snacks because I didn't know if I was about to like crash and feel horrible because I didn't know that you could just eat a certain way and then just not crash. I didn't know I could do that. Now I do. So anyway, I wish I had learned those things, and I would have, once again, I would have set myself up in my 30s, especially becoming a mom, which is a really hard time when it's like, or it can be, I want to say. For some people, it's not that hard of a transition. For some people, it is what's the word I'm looking for? It is,
Good or bad?
it is, no, like really draining, really difficult. What's it?
Debilitating.
Debilitating, whatever. And for me, it was debilitating. And it could have not been if some other things had been in order beforehand. But motherhood, that's the gift of it. It forced me to get all these things in order. And I wouldn't have been forced for a long time. So it is
I
quite the
feel
gift.
that.
It forced me to grow in so many ways. And it like fast tracked me, like boom, boom, mental health, physical health, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. It like forced me to get all these things together, which is really cool. I don't know how long it would have taken for me to get them together if not. So that's kind of cool. Next.
Okay. This is something that I didn't necessarily, whatever. My next wrong is, Lisa used to tell me this. Lisa's right about so many things.
I know.
Hate to see it.
Is taking more risks. AKA any risk. Please do something. Do something. Because I was just so like in freeze a lot of my life, or just so like I didn't want to take risks. I didn't want to do certain things, like especially when it came to like dating and guys that all felt so risky when it was not. I wished, and I was literally reminded of this the other day when I was like out, and then this guy that I had seen around a lot was like moving away, and I actually was like, oh, he's moving away, I should like speak to him. Probably I've seen him like 50 times, and I actually spoke to him, and he was super nice and super cool, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed out on getting to know somebody because I just didn't say hi ever, and I've seen them about 50 times. And it's like I was so like completely gung-ho on like shutting especially guys just out.
You
And
were
I
gung ho.
Yes, I was so literally, like I was like so intensely like shut down for so many different reasons, and so incredibly attached to literally shutting men out. Like just like, nope, can't talk to you, can't speak to you, can't do this, nope.
It wasn't like a conscious thing, but it was like something that was
It
happening.
kind of was in a weird way too, though. But I was just like, there was so much stress, so much pressure, so much just like, I can't speak or risk or like take any chance on this for no real reason. And it should have just been something that was fun and easy. Like to just like say, hey, get to know people. But I like really, that is one of my regrets, is that I really just like tortured myself for no reason. And just shut so many nice people out. So if I ever shut you out, sorry. Yeah.
My next one is I wish I didn't go through so much alone.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember I have this clear memory that happened multiple times in my 20s where I would have these really intense panic attacks that would last for like a couple days. And I was like, I couldn't really eat very much. I couldn't sleep. I was just like basically kind of being eaten alive by this very intense anxiety about something I was worrying about. And I remember sitting on the floor in my room feeling this sense of like almost like being paralyzed. And I would be literally scrolling through my contacts and I would see like different friends and I would be like, oh, I can't call her because she's going through this other thing. So I don't want to like burden her with what I'm going through. And then I'd be like, oh, well, they might be kind of judgmental about it. So they wouldn't understand. I would literally just come up with a reason for every person that I knew of why I couldn't reach out to them. And I would just sit there and be like, I'm just going to.
I do.
You reach out.
I was just going to be like, I was just like, okay, I'll just deal with it by myself. And then my anxiety would just eat at me. And I would sit there literally paralyzed. And I kind of learned over time, there's sort of these two extremes of like, I also have the tendency of like, I would like ask a lot of people for advice on things, like that OCD thing or whatever. But it wasn't like that deep. Like it wasn't
it's
like,
not like connecting.
It wasn't connecting. It wasn't like I was actually being vulnerable and opening up and showing my true emotion, because I think I really disowned a huge part of myself that was like, I'm not allowed to be mean. I'm not allowed to be grumpy. I'm not allowed to be unpleasant. I'm not allowed to be like all of these human things that I just felt like I can only be this like happy, pleasant version. So anything negative that I felt, I would just stuff. And then I would eventually just explode. And either it would be like I would have rage, or I would have just this ocean of like sadness, or like this honestly mostly debilitating anxiety. And I think I just thought that part of myself is so ugly that that no one's going to want to see that. And I don't want to like burden people with that. And I'm so afraid to show them, because I'm like, what if they see it and they like think I'm not like this good person or whatever, my identity. And I just kind of wish I knew, like, I don't know, it's really sad, but it's like the part of you that's so like, that you think is so ugly is actually really not ugly. It's just like, it actually is kind of beautiful in a way. Like, you're just human, and you can be really sad. You can be really scared. You can be really embarrassed, or like try too hard, or feel rejected. Like, those are all part of the human experience, and you're not like, there's nothing wrong with you for feeling those things. And if people show you their true colors, like you come to them with one of those problems and they kind of make you feel really bad about yourself, don't go to them. They're not safe. But that doesn't mean that no one is safe. And I think maybe because I had some toxic friendships in the past, like where I didn't really feel safe, I kind of thought no one was safe. So I kind of wish I would have found like my small group of people. I ended up finding kind of like priests, honestly. There was a couple of priests that I really trust that to this day I'll still go to with really big life decisions. But I didn't really start doing that till I was like in my later 20s. So I think it's okay to like still reach out to people for advice. It is good. But not like a million people, and not acting like everyone and their dog is smarter than you and knows what you should do with your life. It's like,
well, because you're trying to farm out responsibility for yourself. Like
it's like,
what is that word? Oh my gosh, where you delegate responsibility for yourself to other people.
Yeah, it's like, why do they know better than you what decision you should make in your own life? Like, yes, get advice from a couple trusted people, but stop acting like everyone is smarter than you. I don't know. That's a whole other thing, but you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, and also because someone isn't the most safe on certain things doesn't mean that they're necessarily unsafe overall too.
Yeah, true.
Because there's some people that are good to go to about certain things and not as good about other things. So remember that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like
That's
the
true.
opposite of that. I'm like, I don't ask anyone for anything, and then I do the thing, and I'm like, I probably should have consulted someone about that who knew something.
Good for you, though.
Ugh.
But I think I'm learning to ask,
I'm learning to
actually,
not ask
for
as
advice more. So I'm just like, oh, whatever, I'll just figure it out. It's like, or I could get some info. Could
Yeah.
be good. Okay, my next wrong is, like, how do I put this? It's like jumping in too fast and, like, I don't know, being too caught up in relationships because I was like, oh, well, I need to find the one. I need to get married. And I think, like, overlooking things and committing too fast because I felt like I had to get married.
That's real.
Because, like, I don't know, there's, you know, people are like, well, everyone has flaws and relationships take work and blah, 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 which that's true, but you are not married to them yet.
Yes.
You didn't already say in sickness and in health after a few months. You actually didn't do that.
Very
Yeah.
true.
But I think I kind of like, I guess, yeah, it's like committing too soon, even with like dating someone, of like projecting all this future onto them that like we didn't even have yet, which made me really, I think, overlook a lot of things because I was just like, well, I see the future. Yay, we'll just figure everything out.
Ooh.
It's like,
Yeah, that's rough.
Except you are not the only person that can decide to stay or leave.
That's real.
Too real.
That's real.
Well, we'll stop there. I definitely have more, but we could come up with another episode
Yeah.
for the other stuff to share, like a different theme. So let's, well, okay, people in your 20s, hopefully something we said might like stir, I was going to say spur, that makes sense? Stir something in you? Could you say spur too? Spur? No?
Maybe.
No.
I
But
feel
you
like you're
know
like
what?
spur someone on.
Stir
Life-
something in you.
Life is the greatest teacher.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what sucks.
Yes.
But you know what? There's a
gotta
lot
live
of
and
things in
learn.
life that I really did learn from other people. Like things my older brother did where I was like, okay,
Nope.
sounds good for me.
Yeah.
I actually feel like reading Shauna Niequist's book when I was started reading them when I was in my late teens, and she talked a lot about the 20s and 30s, and I feel like it helped me to hear her future perspective. Like I feel like a lot of her quotes would bounce around in my head when I was going through those
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
Like I read Home Moms magazines and they all said walking's really important, so I never ran. Never tried to run once. I steered clear of that.
Oh my gosh, these magazines.
Okay, so let's move on to our 5 POVs. I'm guessing we don't have Lisa's POV today.
I do.
We have Lisa's
Lisa's
POV
POV.
today. All right.
OMG.
This one is from Wes on Patreon. They're all from someone on Patreon.
Okay.
What's one place you want to visit in the country and one place you want to visit outside of the country?
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, you can go.
I want to go to Yosemite
Ooh.
National Park. Like, why haven't I been there?
Yeah. Why? Because
I
we were
haven't
not
been
a
there.
nature
young.
family too.
I was too young. Yeah, that's true.
We were not
And
nature
out of the
people.
country, I want to go to Finland, to
I
the
was-
Laplands, and see the Northern Lights. there.
I was gonna say I want to go to Norway. I want to go to Norway so
Oh, the
bad.
land of our people.
As Norwegian gals.
Yes, as Norwegian gals, as you can tell, I'm so Norwegian, so tall, so blonde. And here, where have I not been that I want to go here? I feel like I've been many of the places I want.
All right, she doesn't care.
Here?
I don't know.
Seen it all.
Let me think about that one.
Oh, I know. I haven't been to. Wait, have I been to Wyoming? No,
no,
right?
I've been
Oh,
to
you gotta
Wyoming.
go.
I loved Wyoming.
I haven't been to Wyoming. I need to go there.
I loved
Yeah,
Wyoming.
you gotta go.
There's a lot of. That's what I would say.
You know, Yosemite would be fun.
Have I been to Rhode Island?
No,
Guys,
yeah, you went with Grandma, didn't you?
Rhode Island.
Guys, unfortunately, when it comes to places we went on tour, I have 0% memory. Everyone else has some memory at least, or a big memory. I have 0. I don't know where we went. I don't have one clue.
Ooh, I want to go to Wilmington, North Carolina. I want to go there.
Oh, that seems nice.
Okay.
I really want to go to Maine. I know that's so
Oh,
random.
yeah.
I remember
I
as a
almost
kid
said that.
looking at a map and being like, what's the furthest thing away from California where we were? And I was like, oh, Maine. It looks so far away. We've actually been to Boston, which is not that far. But I just always wanted to go like in the summertime and explore like some of the little coastal towns that are so far north. Oh,
Yeah, I
That
want to
sounds
go
fun.
go to
there.
Maine. It just sounds so cool. Did you guys know Miss Rachel's from Maine?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, random
I
facts.
can't believe no one said Australia.
Oh yeah.
Australia
Australia.
and Greece.
Well-
oh wait, except for the bugs. That's where it really
Alex-
gets me.
Greece. I wanna go to Greece.
Alex's story with that giant thing on the wall of his Airbnb. I could
Spider.
not.
Okay,
That
and
was
my
crazy.
faraway place is Iceland. The idea of going to Australia is cool, but after we did our crazy 24-hour travel to the Philippines, I hated that
yeah,
so
it was
much.
too much.
That was the worst jet lag I've ever experienced.
not
I
recall
don't
that.
really have a desire to relive the travel part. If I could just teleport myself to Australia, I would love to go. Maybe I'll go one day. Max and I were talking about where we'd want to go, and we were both just kind of like, Australia, maybe. It's just the travel's too crazy.
Our number one
Yeah.
place as a family is obviously Italy, since
Oh, yeah.
Nick's
I want to go to Rome.
dad is born there, and then we're both Italian. So like, hello, our
Yeah.
heritage. We have to go there. Hello, we're both German too, so
Yeah.
there too. All right, Lisa's.
Should I go?
She's
Where would I go?
She,
Yeah, she
literally
always
gets
repeats
started.
it.
Okay, sorry I'm outside by a major
First
road
thought.
on a walk, so it's a little noisy. But one place I want to visit in the country.
She knew.
These are kind of on opposite ends of the country, but I couldn't choose. I really want to go to Leavenworth, Washington. I think it's how you say it.
Oh
It
yes.
looks
I know what you're talking about.
amazing. And then I also really want to go to Maine. I think it also looks.
You guys should get a trip
amazing.
together.
That'd be so
You know,
funny.
just the northern points of the country on each side, basically. I also really want to go to Telluride, Colorado. So maybe 3 of them. I don't know. Outside of the country, this is so random. Of course, they're both from the Real Housewives because they always do a fabulous trip or 2 every season, and I just am like, wow, I want to go there. Oh, I live vicariously through them. The Real Housewives of Potomac went to Panama, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Would love to go to Panama now. And then I think the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City went to Bermuda, which was where that famous scene with Monica went down.
Yes.
She's been reality Von teased this whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, I really want to go to Bermuda too because it looked amazing. Although I'm scared of disappearing in the
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle.
Would
But
you
they all
disappear?
made it back, so
She won't.
who knows?
Lisa would never.
But that's where I want to go.
Wow, good times.
Nice.
Receipts, proof, screenshots, timeline.
Okay. Let's move right along.
Masterful finale.
Okay. All right. Now it's time for Sister Spotlight, where each week a different sister has a spotlight on her. We have Get Real with Christina, Sappy or Sassy Thoughts with Cath, Lisa's Corner, Amy's Current Crisis, and Lauren's Take. And this week, the sister is Catherine.
Today we're doing a new segment that I'm stealing from Amy that's called Caths Current Crisis.
Oh, I love it.
I'm just really grateful to this podcast for giving me an outlet
Oh my
to share my grief that literally no one cares about except for me.
I will care.
But it has been such a saga? How you say it?
Saga.
Saga
Say saga.
that I am just in it.
We're here
Many
for you, Cath.
tears have been shed by me personally.
Oh my God.
Many existential crises have been had.
Oh, I love
My
it.
poor and wonderful husband has been the listener of
He's
many
been through so
many
much.
soliloquies from this topic. My current crisis is my bike, which hopefully is not a crisis anymore, but this has been such a journey. Okay, so as you may know, I'm doing a triathlon, and Lauren's also doing it. And I was like, I watched the videos, and all these triathletes were like, just get whatever bike you have access to. It's your first time. Don't get some fancy bike. Like, you don't even know if you like the sport. So just get whatever bike you can access. I was like, great. I don't know anything about bikes anyway. So I just went on Facebook Marketplace and got a random bike from a random person in Tennessee. And it said women's bike, and it said comfort seat. I was like, that sounds great.
Love it.
Love it. Love comfort. So I got my bike back in September. And Alex and I went on our inaugural bike ride together, which was so fun. It was Pilgrimage Fest was on, and we were like riding right by it as people were playing. It was so fun. Went on this great bike ride. So I was like high hopes. And then I kind of rode my bike a little bit over the next couple months, but not a lot until I started like formally training for the triathlon. So I started training 4 months before. And this is when I really started like hitting it hard on the bike, going like multiple times a week, trying to really get the miles in and get comfortable on a bike. Which I will say, my first time bike riding, I was like, Max, I think I need to go in the morning. I don't want anyone to see me. I'm so nervous. I was just like, I feel embarrassed. I'm like, you don't see a random 30-something-year-old mom riding a bike. It's just something you don't see. I don't know. I felt weird. I really still don't see anyone my age.
No, I think you're right.
Like riding a bike. It's always like,
Do you
kids.
wear a helmet?
Yes, of course. I always wear a helmet. Why would I not wear a helmet?
I never see adults wearing helmets. It's
She would
criminal.
wear a helmet.
Everything was going fine. Started putting in these miles on my bike and just, cruising along. Just simple bike rides. Everything was fine. And then the first thing that went wrong, this was in March. So this is like 3 months, T-minus 3 months to the triathlon. I had gone out about halfway and I was about to come back a few miles to my house. And suddenly I feel my seat start squeaking. And my seat goes like this, and it goes completely backwards.
Oh, that's scary.
And I was like, oh, shoot. And so I pull on the side of the road. I look up on YouTube, how do you readjust your bike seat? And they were like, this is an easy fix. All you need is this one tool, and you adjust this bolt. And I was like, well, I don't have a tool. I'm on the side of the road. I'm like halfway away from my house. And I could not, I tried to pull the thing out. I could not get it to move. And I couldn't ride my bike with the seat literally like this. So I just took the L and I just walked my bike all the way back home. It was like 20 minutes, wasn't that bad. So my brother came over. He helped me fix my seat. He used to work on bikes. And I was like, okay, all is well. And I was like, also my bike just feels kind of hard to ride. What do I need to change? And he was like, oh, so we ordered new tires for it. He helped me adjust, tighten things up, adjust the nuts and bolts, whatever. So I was like, oh, wow. So I went on a bike ride. My bike felt so much better with the new tires. I was going a little faster. The next thing that happened, I was riding my bike and suddenly my chain came off. And I was like, okay. So then once again, YouTube, this one was actually an easy fix. I just looked
used
up,
to happen to me all the time.
how do you put a chain back on? It's actually really easy. You just
put it back on.
You push, you push the thing to release the chain so it has slack.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You realign it and then you pull it back. So I was like, okay, at least I know how to do that now. Not a big deal. Kept coming off over and over and though. So that was not good. I also learned how to clean and degrease my chain. So that was good. And that helped a lot. Then the next thing that happened, I was like, all right, Max, today's the day. I really got to do a long ride because I really want to start increasing my mileage so I can get closer to the 20K mark and just feel comfortable for the race. I left my neighborhood and I crossed a busy street. So I was 5 minutes from home and suddenly my back tire just locks into place. And I try to pedal and it's just going dun, 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 it starts it's hitting.
Did you fall?
Well, luckily I had just crossed the busy road and I was like, oh my gosh, my tire won't move. So I literally, I was only a few minutes from home, luckily. I couldn't even pedal my bike home and walk it. I had to carry my bike home, which was so heavy and annoying. And luckily I wasn't that far, else I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I carried my bike home, and I think this might have been the first time I cried. And I was like, why is everything going wrong with this bike? I am so annoyed. And so I tried to figure out what to do, and I ended up taking my bike into a bike shop because my father-in-law helped me pop the tire back into place, and then it happened again, not even a mile into the next ride.
What the heck?
Wow. So I took it into a bike shop. This was a month ago at this point. My children were all sick, had high fevers. People were throwing up. It was so hard to get it into the bike shop because the only hours they were open was when my husband was at work. So I was like, I can't leave. I can't put the kids in the car and drive them to the bike shop because they're going to throw up. Or they have a fever. I'm not going to put them in the car for 40 minutes. Oh, so it took forever. I finally got my bike in. They did a whole professional tune-up. They said, oh, one of your things is cracked. So they ordered me a new one.
Oh my God.
They replaced it. I spent $130 on a tune-up and a new part. So at this point, I've learned how to clean and degrease the chain. I've replaced the tires. Now I just spent $130 on a new part and a tune-up. So I'm like, okay, everything better be good now because I just spent a bunch of money on this bike and it better be good. So I take it on another ride.
Oh,
this
I'm
was
so scared.
last weekend? No, 2 weekends ago. I take it on another ride and almost immediately the tire locks into place again. After a professional tune-up, I was like, what is going on? These people are literally professionals. They looked it over. So I take it back to the bike shop and you know what they tell me? well, we don't know what you're talking about. Everything looks how it's supposed to. Like, there's nothing wrong with your bike. And I was like,
Oh,
there is something wrong with my bike. Every time I ride it, the tire keeps locking into place. Like, there's something wrong. They're like, well, I'm looking at these parts. Everything looks as it's supposed to. I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, what do I do? Like, do I ride another bike? So I borrowed my dad's bike. Sorry, guys. This is a really long story.
No,
but
I love it.
We're
I'm
almost
here.
at the end.
God, I'm locked in.
I borrowed my dad's bike, as I mentioned, for this practice 20K that I was doing while my bike was in the shop. And it hurt like HE double hockey sticks.
Not the HE.
So bad. Like, because my dad's bike is so uncomfortable.
Does that one
Your
of those
dad.
seats?
I have
One
a
of
comfort
those
seat.
seats?
My dad has this seat that literally just
seats.
shoves into your
Those
butt. Like,
are
like you're sitting on a
torture.
brick. Literally,
Yeah.
I literally felt like I was bruised. Like, it was not
It
fun.
probably was bruising you, DBH.
Yeah, honestly, it hurt for like 3 days after. But anyway, finally, I come home and I was like to my father-in-law, because he knows about bikes. I was like, I don't know what to do. They're saying there's nothing wrong. They're like, we'll take your bike, but we don't see anything wrong with it. We'll like test ride it or whatever. So my father-in-law calls them and he's like, he explained to them exactly what he thought was going on. I get a text like an hour later and they were like, oh, we took the wheel off and there was a part on the inner part that was really loose. So we tightened it. So you shouldn't have this problem with your wheel coming off anymore. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So anyway, that was on Tuesday that I got it back. And
Have you
Oh
ridden it
my
yet?
gosh.
I did. I took it on a ride the very next morning. Everything was fine.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Fingers
horrific.
crossed.
God, that's so scary.
I know. So I'm like, but I started having these horror like, because I drove the course. And so I was picturing the course like, what if my bike breaks down on the course? What if my wheel starts doing this again? I don't know. Should I just ride on my dad's horrific bike that's going to torture me the entire time for peace
That's
of
what
mind?
I would do.
Or should I ride my
that's
bike?
scary.
I know, because I'm only going to have ridden it twice before the triathlons.
well,
No,
if
but
they,
the
Can't you just
other
get a
one-
seat cover and put on his, or just put a different seat on? Not that
I
one.
don't think it's just that though, because I also have really bad low back pain on his bike that doesn't happen on my bike. So I think it's like the positioning of how things are.
Oh, is it like where you have to lean forward for
yeah.
I think
it? Yeah,
so.
you
Yeah,
just have to get used to it.
it was horrifying.
Oh my god.
I know, but
Honestly,
Well,
I feel
I
like
think
your
it's
bike
safer.
should be fine.
I hope so.
same.
Well,
I hope so.
guess
luck.
we'll see.
Guys,
Good luck. to
Fingers
me.
crossed.
Prize.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride it again tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully good
Honestly, you should.
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the
Yikes.
saga of my bike.
Well, let's hope it has
Good
a good
times.
ending. We'll find out.
We'll update.
We're about to find out.
I know.
Well, guys,
I'll let you guys
that's
know
all.
if I make it through the triathlon without my bike breaking down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we should make a note to have an update on that in next episode from now.
Yeah.
We have to have calf bike update
know
in the
what-
next episode.
I will say one bright moment was it was a sad moment, but I was leaving the bike shop this last time when the guy was like, well, we don't know what's wrong. There's nothing wrong. And I was like crying and I was like, God, Jesus, you were a carpenter. Please. I was like, you can fix things. I know it. And I literally said, please fix my bike. And I pictured Jesus fixing my bike and him being like, oh, here's the problem with your wheel. And then not even an hour later, they were like, oh, we found the problem. And I was like, maybe it was Jesus.
Probably
He
was.
fixed my bike.
Probably was.
Oh, good times. So
Good.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we got for you today. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you then.
See you then. Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Facebook and Instagram.